Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Obsessions of a Bookaholic. I am, once again, Brittany, and today we're going to be doing the mid-year Freakout tag. I know I'm a little bit late on this one, but I've been seeing it circling around YouTube a lot, so I figured I would do it anyway. This was originally created by Chammy and Ellie. I will link their videos down below, so you guys should go check that out. A little bit of a disclaimer, I've been really horribly behind on new releases this year. I basically didn't read anything at all for like the first 4 months because I was still in school and university as hell if you're trying to actually keep up with books, so I am sorry. Please bear with me. Just because you might not necessarily know the book, might be a little bit older, a little bit less popular, unfamiliar, doesn't mean it's not good. And if you stay, then you might actually find some things that you wouldn't have expected to like reading, but that you actually want to check out. So without further ado, the first question is, what is the best book that you have read in 2017? Now, I know this was not 2017. The final in the trilogy was from 2017, but I'm going to have to go with A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas because just everything about this book was so amazing and phenomenal, and I don't know. I read this like 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, and I'm still not over it. Aquawar was fantastic, but it did not even measure up, and I don't know if there is another book that can measure up to all the beauty and glory that was A Court of Mist and Fury. So for the best book, even though it wasn't technically from 2017, I'm gonna have to go with this one. But if you want to be a little bit picky and say that it technically didn't come out in 2017, even though I did read it, guys, the question says read, I would have to go with Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, which I did like a 25-minute book talk review thing on this one because there's so much that happens in here that is so good. Such a heartbreaking ending, which I did not see coming and I'm not okay with. So Cassandra Clare, why would you do this to me? Like, I should be expecting this by now, but I break down into tears every single time it happens, so ugh. But either way, if you're going to be picky and it has to be from 2017, I'm going to go with Lord of Shadows, but really the best that I've read this year would have to be A Court of Mist and Fury. Question number 2 is, what is your favorite sequel of the year? And for this one, then I'm definitely going to have to go with Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. This one I thought was by far better than Lady Midnight, even though Lady Midnight was fantastic. I usually doubt second books because sometimes the series gets a little bit slow, especially if it's a trilogy in the second one. But surprisingly enough, this year I've read a lot of exceptions to this rule. Lord of Shadows is definitely one of them. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. Back when City of Bones and stuff were coming out, I really did not like City of Ashes at all, even though it's one of my absolute favorite series, so I wasn't really sure how I'd feel about Lord of Shadows. Clockwork Prince also didn't live up to expectations, but this one exceeded expectations, so I cannot possibly put into words how amazing this one is. So for best sequel of 2017, it would definitely be Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. Question number 3 is new releases that you haven't read this year, but you really want to. There are so many books that have come out this year that I haven't read yet. Again, horribly, terribly sorry. I read Aquawar and I read Lord of Shadows. Mostly what I've been reading are the sequels to series that I already started. But some of the series I hadn't started previously, I haven't necessarily gotten to reading the sequel of, even though I really want to. So I'm going to go through a little bit of a really quick list of some books that have already come out that I really want to get to, and I hope to get to by the end of 2017 so I can still say that I actually read them in release year. Wind Witch by Susan Dennard, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, Once and For All by Sarah Desson, I'm in the Mist by Renee Adier, Black Souls by Nicole Casterman, When Dimple Met Rishi by Sonia Menon, and By Your Side by Casey West. Question number 4 is most anticipated read for the second half of 2017. One of those would definitely have to be Tower of Dawn, the Kale novel from Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass series. To be entirely honest, I have not yet caught up with the Throne of Glass series. I thought Throne of Glass was really good. I loved Crown of Midnight. Heir of Fire, contrary to popular opinion, surprisingly did not fully meet my expectations. So I've been kind of behind on reading Queen of Shadows, and then obviously Empire of Storms is out, so suddenly I got really behind, but I have intentions, very good intentions, to finish both of those before Tower of Dawn comes out, and then see where Sarah J. Maas does with Kale's side of the story. I haven't really been fond of what she's done to his character so far. I loved Kale in the first book, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm supposed to hate him, or he's doing so many bad things. I don't know. I don't know, but I would really looking forward to seeing what she actually does with him, seeing if he gets a little better or you understand some of his motives for certain things. I don't know. We'll see. Question number 5 is biggest disappointment of 2017. That one would have to go to a book that came out a couple years ago called Poison Princess by Cresley Cole. I wrote a really angry review of this one a couple months back. I will post the link down here if you want to check it out. It's just a written review on a separate blog, so it's not exactly a video, but if you want to hear me rant in writing about all the horror that was Poison Princess, you may. Now, I understand that a lot of people like this, and there's nothing against you or your opinions. If you did, I just recognize it wasn't exactly for me. I didn't really like the characters. The storyline was redeeming, but then a lot of it fell flat. It just overall wasn't exactly what I'd wanted it to be, and I really overall did not enjoy it at all. But again, if you did enjoy this, let me know in the comments what you actually did like about it. Maybe I'll give the next one another shot. Probably not, though, so this would have to be the biggest disappointment. Again, I'm so sorry if you did like this. It's just not for me. Like, no. Question number 6 is, what is your biggest surprise of 2017? That one would have to go to a book that I got off of the bargain shelf not too long ago called A Clockwork Scarab by Colleen Gleason. This is the craziest mismatched hodgepodge of all these different supernatural, physical, sciencey, whatever concepts that I have ever in my lifetime read. There you have vampires, there is time travel, there is goddess resurrection, murder mysteries, Sherlock Holmes, descendants or relatives of Bram Stoker. It's just, everything in this is crazy, but for some reason it actually works out really well. So I'll definitely be trying to find the next 2 in the series. I think one's called A Chess Piece Enigma, and there's one that's something else I can't remember. But this one was definitely surprising, so I would suggest that you check it out. Question number 7 is, what is your favorite new author or new to you author that you read in 2017? That one would definitely have to go to Renee Ahdieh, the author of Wrath in the Dawn. I finally got around to reading this one a couple weeks ago, and words cannot describe how much I absolutely love this. It is beyond everything on a new existential plane than I am. This is how phenomenal this book was. So definitely gonna have to go to this author. I am beyond excited to read The Rose and the Dagger, which again, I will be hunting down because I haven't read it yet, and Flame in the Mist, which I said was one of my most anticipated reads of the first half of 2017, also by her because she's just so amazing. She's so amazing. Question number 8 is your new favorite fictional crush, and that one is definitely going to have to go to Rhysand from A Court of, well, ACOTAR series. Again, I read the whole series this year, so technically I know he was introduced in ACOMAF, but like, he's also in this one, and this is the one this year, and it's just really, solidified my love for Rhysand. I adore him and Feyre as an OTP. So, like, as much as I would love him for myself, I'm gonna have to pan him over to Feyre because they're such goals. Oh my god. But definitely favorite fictional crush, new book boyfriend, anything, every single possible checkbox that you could be is Rhysand from the Night Court in the ACOTAR series. And if I can pick another one, because there are just so many awesome characters who could be perfect fictional crushes, I have to go with the Dark Artifices trilogy, Mark Blackthorne, because I don't know why, but there's something about his whole fairy gentryness that is just so... Question number 9 is, who is your new favorite fictional character as a whole that I read this year? That would gonna have to go to Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy's George Lovelace. He is awesome, he is Scottish, he is hot, he is like Jamie Fraser, he is everything and perfection. So definitely new favorite character. Question number 10 is, what is a book this year that made you cry? As I'm sure a lot of people have been answering and a lot of people understand, I'm going to have to go with, again, Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. The ending was beyond heartbreaking, and I sobbed for a long time, and I'm still not over it. If you do not know what I am talking about, go read, because everybody deserves to have their heart broken by Cassandra Clare. If you need another example of how Cassandra Clare will break your heart at the end of a book, you could also take, once again, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. I really hope I don't have to explain it. I don't have a review for it because I can't actually put my mind into words. But please, again, if you haven't gone back and read this. If you have read this, you understand. You understand my pain. You understand my tears. You understand me. Question number 11 is, what is a book this year that made you happy? And for that one, I'm going to have to go with the second of the Lunar Chronicles, Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. Again, this one came out a while ago, but I love the characters so much in Cinder, so I loved having them back. The humor is fantastic. The new characters are just as great. And And the ending, even though all the shit goes down, is really, really cute and really, really happy and leaves you yearning for the next one and not in complete heartbreak, like another couple books that I've already talked about. Even though this isn't necessarily one of those cutesy contemporary reads, which I would usually use for this happy category, except that I haven't actually read any this year and I need to really get on that, I will have to go with Scarlet for the book that made me the happiest. Question number 12 is, what is your favorite book-to-movie adaptation this year? Now, this year has kind of been horrible for book-to-movie adaptations. We really only had Everything, and to be fair, I have not yet seen that. Instead of favorite that came out this year, I'm going to say favorite that I watched or rewatched this year, and that would have to go to the Ruby Red trilogy by Kirsten Gier. These books were written originally in German, a German author, and then translated into English, and so the movies were made in Germany. They are in German. It took me forever to find dubbed, subtitled English versions on the World Wide Web. Google was being really cruel to me in my quest to find these, but when I found them, it was really, really cute. Actually, I wouldn't say they were phenomenal. The second one is definitely my favorite, just like the second book was my favorite, so that was really great to see the enjoyment sort of like continue into movie form. Again, they're not as fantastic as I would wish they'd be, but again, they're adorable. They're worth a read and worth a watch if you can find an English version. So check that out. Question number 13 is, what is your favorite review that you've done, or as a booktuber, what's your favorite video that you've done so far this year? You can't tell yet. I am very new to this whole booktube thing. I only have about like 4 other videos, so I don't really know how to pick that, but I have been reviewing books on a actual like vlog website for a couple years. So the favorite one that I've done this year would probably have to be the ACOTAR series, only because I absolutely loved going back through that world and going over what I read in it. ACOMAF half of my favorite just because I love actually getting excited about books in my reviews. Otherwise, I'll say Poison Princess because, as I said, for the most disappointing book of 2017, I could not stand that. And it was really, really fun to be angry in a review. So if you want to check that out, I will link my blog down below so you can look at that if you want to. Question number 14 is, what is the most beautiful book that you have bought, read, or reviewed this year? That one's going to have to go to a book that I have not read or reviewed yet, but I have purchased, and it's Dividing Eden by Joelle Charbonneau. Don't know if I'm saying that right. Hope I am, but regardless, it's... Do you see this? Do you see how gorgeous this is with the half and half and the dripping and then just like everything? And the book sounds pretty damn good inside of it, but if I'm judging it by the cover, guys, I think everybody does that, even though technically you're not supposed to do it. If you don't do it, then you're lying. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to me. So definitely, most beautiful book that I have purchased. It's like, this is, look at it. Just look at it. How can you disagree? And the final question, number 15, is, what are some books that you need to read by the end of this year? I don't even want to touch this question with a 10-foot pole because 10 feet is probably how long the list is. But I guess to name a few, I would have to go with Red Queen. Still haven't read that one. Shadow of Sarah J. Maas. Again, still haven't read that one. Kill Me by Tahira Mafi. Been years. Still haven't read that one. This by Marissa Meyer. Again, haven't read it yet. Mad Zombie Party by Gina Showalter. One of my absolute favorite series, and again, I have not read it yet. It is the conclusion. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. Allegiant by Veronica Roth, which I decided to completely avoid after I heard about the ending, and I still don't really want to read it, but I need to read it, so it just gets off my shelf and goes on to that one, and I can say that I'm done with it. Had the heartbreak, went through the heartbreak, didn't like the end of the series, but that means it's done. The Kingslayer by Virginia Boaker. See How They Run by Allie Carter. The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, because I am an idiot, and even though I'm a massive fan of the series, I still have not gotten around to that one. And for 10, A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which I wanted to read when it first came out, and I haven't read it yet, and now the final one is out, and guess what? I still haven't read any of that, so that I'm gonna have to definitely get on that trend train, because this is just sad. This is ridiculously sad. Anyway, that is all for my mid-year freakout tag. There was a lot of freaking out and still continues to be a lot of freaking out in my reading. I'm not exactly proud of myself this year. Hopefully that will change with the second half of 2017. It is going to be looking up from here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, I am Brittany from Obsessions of a Bookaholic, and I will see all you lovely people soon. Bye!